Drifting in BeamNG can be pretty hard for obvious reasons, but those same reasons is why it's so damn rewarding to learn. So today I'm going to try to help y'all with that. First of all, you need to make sure you have a decent car to drift with. You don't want to just go get any rear-wheel drive car. You need to have a little bit of angle and ideally some power with you, but like not the craziest amount of power. This one right here, there's no way it's pushing more than like 6, which is still probably more than you may need. I genuinely think you should start with like a little bit less power than that though, because you should learn the inertia of cars. The more power you got, the less you need to rely on inertia. And another reason you should be learning with some lower power is high power can pull you out of some pretty bad situations, and you don't want to end up having to rely on that and then struggle like crazy when you gotta drift 400 horsepower. Also, while you're learning, I don't think you should just go send it on a corner like this and just keep trying to hit that and hit it and hit it. It can work for sure, but you're gonna be going into walls more than you're gonna be learning. So me personally, I would recommend starting with like some donuts and figure 8s and like a relatively big open area, just to like understand first of all your car, how much throttle you need and how much angle you need for drifting with your specific car. Alright, I just went right here in this big huge open area. If you want to know where, it is right next to the racetrack, right there. But as you're doing this, try to think of your throttle as your first input and the wheel as your second, because that's exactly what it is. You do with your throttle and you react with your wheel. Because the more gas you give, the more angle you're going to get, and the more it's going to push you outwards. And then the less gas you give, the less angle you're going to get, and it's not going to push you as far out. And let's say you're doing some figure 8s, throttle modulation is incredibly important for something like that. I mean, you can stay on the gas and do your transitions just like this. I mean, you can turn into it, you know what I'm saying? But as you can see, that leads to a very snappy transition. So most of the time, I'm going to lift up off the gas a little bit, let it transfer, and then get back on it. If y'all didn't see, I mean, I got the gas icon right down there for y'all to see what I'm doing. See, ease off, back on. Once it and that made it even snappier because I got back on the gas before it actually transferred. So you can do it while staying on the gas, of course, but it's going to lead to be a lot snappier like that. Also, just in case anybody had any questions, I will answer every single one down in the comments. I promise you. So just if you have a question, let me know. I don't know if you were paying attention to the wheel cam though, but when I had those snappy transitions, self-steer is not necessarily helping. I mean, look at that. Make me spin out instantly. When you have a snappy transition like that, or just in general, you don't want to rely on self-steer at all. You need to turn the wheel as fast as humanly possible and have your hands be accurate as well, because if you're like fighting yourself, not knowing what to do with your hands, it's just gonna go terribly. And I know a lot of people, they will literally get comfortable with one hand, whether it be the right or the left, and they're just doing everything with the dominant hand, which is a good skill to have, especially if you need to shift or pull your handbrake or whatever. But if the other hand is not doing something, you should be using it to drift. Also, there's multiple different situations where you should either walk the wheel or just throw the wheel. I'm gonna try my best to give an example. It's not gonna be easy. See right here, I'm gonna have to walk it, had to walk it, and then walk it again. Let's see what happens when I throw it. See, I mean, you can't. Something like this, you can't. This is the best example I can think of, a 360 right here. See, watch this. I just throw it. Caught it a little bit, but I still mainly threw it. There are going to be situations where you can throw the wheel. See, I just did it right there again. And there are going to be situations where you absolutely need to walk it, like right there. It's honestly hard to know the difference of what you need to do and when, but when you know, you know. And also, you need to make sure you know where the wheel is at, because you might be right here thinking you have a lot more angle, and then out of nowhere you just bang it on there really hard, which I've done so many times and it never feels good on the wheel. Also, if y'all happen to be wondering about what car I'm actually using, it's really just the Ibishu Pessima, I think it's called, with the drift build, like from the stock game. This is their build, but I just threw max power on here. So it's still not the craziest power, but definitely a good amount. Now I'm gonna be dead honest with y'all, I never had a huge problem learning drifting on this game because I had experience in multiple other games. Just to give you an example, Car X, Assetto Corsa, Gran Turismo, Sport, and 7, and a lot at that. Like not just a couple hours, a couple 100 hours. That's how long it takes to get this good. I mean, I might sound a little bit cocky, I don't mean to, but it's true. It took me a lot of time, a lot of hitting the track over and over and over and over. This is one of the few games where it just kind of came to me because I just knew what I was doing, you know. And the way I learned myself, I literally just went around on the city and just drifted the streets. But the one problem with that is, like, I mean, I don't know about y'all, there's not like a line to follow. You just kind of drift in the streets. So it actually might be a good idea once you grow out of the figure 8s and all that stuff. You can just like go right here, drift this line, and it's not the hardest thing to do. I would say it's definitely easier than the racetrack. There's no elevation changes, and also you won't be bumping into a wall every 5 seconds like you probably would be on the racetrack. And don't think just because I'm using this car in this video that you should learn with this car. I tell you right now, I did not learn with this car. I can't remember what car I learned with. I think I just one of the drift cars. Hell, I think I did most of it with this drift truck right here. This was my main drift car from the start, and it put in work, but it honestly, well, no, it's kind of low powered until you mess with it, but so it doesn't necessarily matter what you drift with. Just like I said, not the craziest power. Try to get a welded diff. Try to have a lot of angle. That'll be pretty helpful, and you should be good to go. Another really important thing that I forgot to mention is power steering. A lot of people think, and they're kind of not wrong, that when you have power steering on, you kind of lose a little bit of feeling as opposed to when you have zero power steering, because it's a little bit stronger for obvious reasons. So I would say leave that at your own discretion. If you want it on, keep it on. If you don't, it's up to you. If you're wondering, I just got my wheel settings off of literally a couple minute YouTube video. I'll actually link the exact video I'm talking about in the description of this video if y'all want to check it out for yourselves. I don't think there's much else for me to say. I hope I didn't skip any points. Like I said, if there's any questions, I promise I will answer them down below. I'm usually not good at putting a lot of this into words, but I really hope I helped y'all learn something today. So just keep at it, put your hours in, and I promise you're gonna get better, hopefully better than me. Maybe I'll see you in BeamNG one day. God bless you, Jesus loves you, and have a very good day.